We got rid of a quarterback today, but we found a team. Last season, I was very reluctant to call for the benching of Garrett Gilbert. I still felt that he still had it in him for what he did against Alabama in the national championship game. And I still stick with it last year. I don't think he was the worst player on the team. That whole team was in disarray. But I wasn't impressed against Rice. And after probably his first or second possession, I was already ready to move on. I'm a guy. I'm very. I usually get accused of being a little too passive here with players and stuff on my teams. But no, I hate. I don't like cheering against my team, and I still don't support booing a guy in their own who's in your own on colors when he goes on the field trying to help, because you're not helping the team there. But once we made that switch, this became a new football team, and this became a competitive football team. Garrett was in there. He threw 2 picks. He was 1 for 6. At least at one point, he was 1 for 6 or 5 yards. He may have did something after that, but those are the numbers I remember. But once we started switching out David Ash and Case McCoy, and really got that running game going and using the athletes we had, because that's where I'm going to get at with this. Last season, we had the athletes, but it was an attitude problem with this team, an ego problem with this team. This team doesn't have that problem this year. A lot of young guys, very talented guys on this team. And we saw that shine there in the second half, especially on offense. But before I talk about the offense, I don't want to get lost. The defense for the Texas Longhorns helped win this ball game. Because while the offense was trying to find out who they were, this defense got better as the game went on. They were swarming after the ball. Manny Diaz was getting into it, and they bought into his system. And in the second half, I forgot we were playing against another team because BYU was hardly ever on the field. We gave up 3 points in the second half, and we won the game by 1, being down 13-3 at the end of the first half. So the defense needs to get all the credit in the world. But of course, the story is the offense, and what we found with this team. I watched the spring game 2 years ago with Case McCoy, and I wasn't impressed at all. He threw off his back foot way too much, and he didn't seem to. He didn't run around as confidently as I want him to. And you saw that one of his first drives when he had to kind of drop back and try to run around. He was kind of running around like a chicken with his head cut off. But as the game went on, especially near the end of the game, to seal it, he was finding guys. Well, there was one guy he was finding that was special. Jackson Shipley, we all know how good knew that he was going to be good for this team. The guy is going to be a superstar for Texas. Picking up right where his brother left off, and he seems like he's even starting off with a little more credentials than his brother, so we'll see. I mean, to live up to Jordan Shipley, who's a Texas legend, is going to be big time. Jackson seems like he has what it takes. But it's not just Jackson. And what I take from this game is we won the football game. That's the main thing of this, that we learned a lot about our team by shuffling players around, going back and forth with David Ash and Garrett Gilbert, and we won the football game. And what I say about this right now, I've seen a lot of snarky comments from Aggies. It's mainly been Aggies because they're really, really bitter about this whole conference situation. I may make a video about that sometime, but they're really bitter about that. They've always hated Texas. They really can't stand Texas right now. But everyone knows that this is not the Horns' year. This is a rebuilding year for the Texas Longhorns. We're going to find out how really good that now. I've already gotten so far what I wanted from this team this year, which is knowing that they are going to be competitive. We lost that last year. This year we've got it back. It seems that after 2 games. A lot of snarky during the game. It was these Longhorns. Look, they suck and whatever. But after the game, when Texas wins, I get comments like, "Oh, way to squeak one out. Way to go." And what I want to say to Aggie fans right now is this. If this doesn't apply to you, then don't worry about it. The Texas A&M Aggies look like they have probably the best backfield in the country this year. Y'all's team is great. I watched them against SMU. That offense is clicking quick. And what I'm saying about I say this all seriousness, the Texas Aggies right now have a chance to compete for a national title this season. I really believe they do. And I say that to say this. I say that to say this. Why are you worrying about the Texas Longhorns? We're number 24 in the country, a rebuilding team. Why would the number 8 team in the country, who has the world in front of them this season, a chance to do something they haven't done since 1912, whatever it was, and does that even really count, but do something really special this season? Why would they be worried about the Texas Longhorns? But I will give you a reason why you should worry about these Texas Longhorns. Because what you saw tonight is the future. This team's not going to win a conference championship this year, I don't believe, and of course we're not going to. And we may get to a fairly good bowl game. But this team had played 18 freshmen. Whenever we get this quarterback situation settled, whether it's Case McCoy, David Ash, either or, the athletes that are on this team, on the defense side of the ball, which you saw, but especially with Malcolm Brown in the backfield, and Mike Davis, Jackson Shipley, and John Harris on the outside, this team is ready for the future. Everyone who thought this Texas team was going to fall off a cliff and be terrible for the next 8-9 years, that's not happening. Texas is rebuilding. This season, you guys may get your licks in again. Texas may lose some ball games. I do look for them to be a lot closer. But this is the future of the Texas Longhorns, and I'm very excited. When I saw that in the second half, it clicked. I knew this is something special for this team a year, two down the road. So, but, of course, back to the game. We found out that we can run a quick offense, and Texas could actually have a legitimate running game. Malcolm Brown is sick. I mean, the dude, he's not just some big bruiser who just tries to plow through the hole. He can. Dude's a smart runner, too. And I love Cody Johnson as well, getting the hammer going in there. But Malcolm Brown is the guy. There's a lot of hype for him coming into this season. You're always skeptical about it because he was nasty in high school. But you always want to see if that translates to college. It has. This guy is going to be a beast, and he's going to be great for Texas the next coming years. So, Longhorns fans, what you need to take from tonight is this. Whether you agree with how the coaching staff did things tonight, whatever, take from this. This is promise. We're going to be good next year and the year after. This team will be back. And just to have that question answered, or at least looks like it's going to be answered, is enough for me. But we also got the W. We're 2-0 right now. And going on the road against UCLA next week, another winnable ball game, but another tough game for this Texas team. This Texas team is not world beaters. I don't think this team can go on the same field with LSU and, Oklahoma and those teams right now. Those teams are world class right now. Those teams are competing for a championship. But we're right there. We're building for that. We're going to come back to what we were just 2 years ago. And it's going to be great. We'll see you guys later. Hook 'em horns, Texas fight, and beware the rest of college football. This season, it's not going to happen. But in a year or two, the Texas Longhorns that you know and hate will be back. See you guys later.